Hello, viewers. How are you doing today? I hope very well. Well, getting back to starting to get back to my old style of being on YouTube, um, mainly in how much and the type of videos I make. It's only in about the last week or so that I've really just started to make videos that weren't either A, recorded during my live streams on Saturday, or B, recorded on my live streams for Slitherine. That has been, and I've just been, cutting them into smaller segments and putting them up on YouTube later. So that, of course, changes the style. I love interacting with viewers for sure, and I mean that very sincerely. But it is, shall we say, different than just making episodes. It's conversation much more than what I'm doing here now. So hopefully more content, hopefully better content. Though I still will be putting up the live stream stuff again, mostly, and this isn't just from my channel, but from my reading, as well as my own experience. If you were to see, oh, hey, there's a 4-hour live stream. Yeah, I want to watch Gamer. He's normally really good at this. At least I hope you think I am. Yeah, I'll do that when I get time to. And you never get the time. Where if it's, I'm going to try to I want to get these down to like 30 to 40 minutes. But we'll see how much I get these things down, but at least try to keep them under an hour. People are more likely to watch then. So that's just that. So we're going to continue. We're in October 1937. Right now I'm looking at how many spawn penalty elements we have. Well, really cause a crash. Since we are building other units here now, because it's the question is, do we have this stuff coming along, or do we have, say, forming the first Lish Brigade? We'll do that. That will take, so down 6% on ICs. February, quite a while, but all right. And so that gets us the, well, I should just come over here. Okay, so, and then it needs to be built up. Right, well, let's send him over here because he'll be part of our mobile stuff, mobile units. I should learn to be precise. Stuff, junk, things. And I do know that sometimes going to conversations way off topic from what's happening on the screen is off-putting to people. And I get that. I really do. I have a folder that I collect photos. One of the things I do is take the description, and often from various locations, about with photos is just often used as a sort of a, well, sometimes it's from the event, but like 1940, you know, 1941 German-Japanese meeting happened, right? And they have a picture of the Japanese ambassador with the with Ribbentrop. Yeah, I don't remember the date or whatever, but you know, agreed on something. Okay, so I say, and they talk about that, and it's the title can be long enough, and I save the photo with sort of the title as a description, so I keep it, and then I put them in folders like Japan, and have a bunch for Germany. Sometimes it might be hard finding some of the stuff for possible events. You know, as going back what to do for events, whether for Germany or for Japan. So I have a huge amount of folders, and if somebody's going to ask, "Hey, can I get?" No, it's if you want to try to buy the folders, fine, but I put a lot of effort into them. I know it'd be just easy for me to give it to you, but it's value. So I do have a folder as part of it, Hollywood Generals. And I've saved photos. Mostly they're just the photos. Sometimes it has, you know, who it is, of you know, from not necessarily Hollywood, but from various movies, television, whatever, photos to maybe one day, and it's like Clink is obviously a joke here, but we'll put him in charge of this for the moment. But of a lot of Hollywood personalities. Now, some of them I don't, well, unless I specific, I don't know how I would use them. Some of them are like Donald, and I know a lot of you youngsters watch this don't know who some of these people are, but Donald Pleasance playing Himmler. Well, we already have Himmler photos. Do I really want to do that? And there's probably, you get 4 or 5 different actors playing Himmler. That isn't so good. But Robert Vaughn, another actor who, where is Remagen? Remagen is somewhere along here, I believe. The bridge at Remagen. He plays the German commander defending the bridge over the Rhine. You know, now he's like a colonel. I know it's not quite a general. So some of these are either fictitious or so lesser known personalities I've thought about, and they're from multiple sites, and they're not just Germany. And we'll to save that to put in Hollywood. Okay, well, it's 37, and we have plenty of officers for the moment. We have a fair amount of spies. I think I'll look at that. Now, I hope I've gotten better with explaining what I'm doing like this. So this means I'm going to look for, well, I think we can do 1938 technologies now, which we are, but we want to do 1938 technologies. And we want to do the 37 now because, and before, because they can, like here, defensive positions can be efficiently researched. But if we're talking about something that has less efficiency, it's a year forward, we want to do something that will benefit us now and not so much benefiting us later. Now, some of the stuff unlocks other things. So you want to unlock, even though, you know, meaning our tank divisions or tank units fighting better doesn't affect us now because we're not fighting anything with our tank units, right? So it doesn't, I mean, it will benefit us. I should look up here and actually see. Okay, we have another half. See, like here, this doesn't improve anything right now, right? But see, this one here okay, radio electronics needs to be at least 3. It allows to unlock that. So if we get this one done sooner, it will allow us to unlock that. That's sort of what I mean. Is some of these are prerequisites to other technologies. Now, okay, thinking about supply throughput, yeah, for some of these naval basing efficiency, but here supply production costs down. We have those. So, okay, we could do SSHQs. We'll do. And even if some of the third, like SSHQs, isn't terribly much benefiting us now, and we had a something that would help oil production or something like that, that would be better to do. Some rare cases, if you're really flush with leadership and or you're pushing for something that's what? I thought there was more units here. What are we seeing? What are we seeing? That looks like a huge. It seems like 4 units there. We only see 3. I don't know. Oh, well, we have that brown thing. I was thinking that was SA. Who's brown and on our port? That's somehow Poland? No? Oh, that's weird. If we were hovering over it, it's like if we hover over this, that we have a Polish flag. I don't know. Now it's just gone. Yeah, there's something. Okay, Naval Strike Tactics Advance. Yeah. 1937. Well, I guess we'll leave that for the moment. Albert Leo Schloss Legator training vessel. So we get leadership modifier a little bit until January, so a little bit bonus. It basically gives us more officers, which I'm meaning to be, because I made that event, naval officers from because those training vessels did have a moderate sized professional crew, that was full time. But all the rest of the crew that to actually operate it were naval cadets to become officers, or I don't know if they had chiefs. Well, chiefs normally grind their way through the thing, so I doubt. I mean, there were chiefs on the boat, that was part of the permanent crew. So those are training all the junior officers and getting them out there in sea skills. Okay, we want to see about selling resources, preferably to Soviet Union, but they don't have, but they can use supplies. Okay, because we're likely to keep trading with the Soviets until the moment of going to war with them, and you can't, in a practical sense, be interrupted. There's Seaboat Flotilla. You expand the schools, save money. So that'll cost us mostly supplies and some manpower. So yes, we will expand that. Now that we have the expert leadership because of the training ship, we can. I wanted to take a look at spies, intelligence, that sort of thing. Okay, well, lots of 38, but what we're going to do is we're going to come here. This normally unlocks, or can unlock, other things. So let's do that. Okay, and then intelligence. Right. Okay, so we have our own spy priority up top here. And we have some in Japan that we're trying to steal what I'm hoping is naval text that they're researching. Soviet Union, Britain, and USA. I'm hoping to do some of that now. Where else might we want to do spies? Let's look at Iran and let's build up for a covert ops mission, and we'll also support our party a little bit there. Just if we want to try to do a coup or something, maybe. I don't know. Fuel. Ah, yes, energy. France would like money for rare materials. No, I think we'll just steal whatever, take whatever rare materials we find when we conquer it. Okay, so we are on, well, we're into producing the Scharnhorst. So what we're going to do here is let's upgrade a couple of these divisions. Let's keep me from accidentally hitting. Okay, 2nd Infantry Division to the 2nd Infantry Division motorized. Again, the same cost there. Division. So we're motorizing another division. Yeah, let's just do these. Just get these 3. So, well, since we're right here, let's find a good candidate for this. This guy looks cool. We'll put him in charge of that. We'll move these down there to where we have a another motorized unit. Okay, another motorized commander. I guess reasonably qualified, reasonably aggressive. Those are 3 motorized divisions. Now, what would probably be best is when we get around to having some armored corps commanders to do a mix. Well, we could put a division command for you as well. Stupenagel. We've got a lot of rare material. Okay, the anti-Comintern pack. Yes. Does hurt our relations significantly with the Soviet Union and the Spanish Republic if it still exists. Don't know right at the moment. We'll take a look at it in just a second. But yes, we want to stop the Bolsheviks. You only want, yeah, they still exist. You only want to do that, and I think there's another one that comes a bit later. Is that the first one? One of them, and then you're basically forced into having Italy as part of the Axis with Third Reich events. So if you're doing like a world conquest challenge, or just don't want to have Italy in your faction, then don't pursue those, because TRE has points that um, it allows you to make choices, like pursue alliance with Italy, shall we say. And if you start going down it, basically my thought is, okay, you're going down the historical path, and nothing in this game is going to be something that changes so radically, at least that I know of, that would keep you from doing it. Meaning, it's not going to Italy's not going to flip over and be communist, or something historically. So if you're going to go down the alliance with um, Mussolini path, you're going to go down it. You have that choice. You can't. It's not like, well, I want the benefits of this, but I don't want to. No. You got to. You got to choose these kind of things. Naval tactics, or nav tactics, naval air. Budget's 6% hits. So it means not all of the armor divisions, armor units that we have in, but of course these guys are probably to pump out, put a few more into production. And we could do that and do that as well. By having these guys, these divisions in cores as opposed to not in cores, actually, and part of the whole chain of command actually reduces, at least if you make the right choices, reduces down the like a consumption. Rich, well, that's not the best, but that's historical. He's going to be gone soon, anyways, I believe. He's the guy in charge. Rich is number 2. Yes, you may have all the energy you want. Okay, well, we're doing pretty well. Let's look over at Japan fighting in China. They're doing pretty well as well. Oh, they've done an okay, good. They've done a naval landing down here. That is good for them. There's landing. Units to deploy, which is fine. So expensive. Not useless, but are they worth that? Would it be better to have one of these for that? Okay, mediation for the Lima's fight coming in with commas. Get them to mediate Soviets. We would give them money for crude oil. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, now that these guys are over here, we're going to see who do we want to attach them to. Yes, I guess them in Berlin. Now that is probably that or this. 2 or 3 to 4 divisions, but 3 is probably the most historical, so that probably means it's the best from a fighting aspect, but from a game aspect, 5 is best. Oh, we successfully stole. Well, they call it blueprints. Let's see. Oh, well, improve our abilities to focus to level 1, giving us the following benefit. So now I don't know that we're going to build any CAGs. So CAG torpedo bomber focus is bomb load. I just like to find these, sort of a learning process. It's taking some time. Avionics. Prototype. Is it down here? I guess I don't know. Now we have the CAG here for training. Torpedo bomber, naval CAG, carrier air group. In case you didn't know, I do like to try to get to know you guys, but I do know that there are people that are experts on carrier prototype aircraft. Yes, on all kinds of things, and then some people that have very good general overall knowledge. Well, I'm going to give up here in a moment. Oh, maybe it's under carrier. That could be. Yes, there it is. Yeah, that's one thing we're not planning on doing, but they're getting ready for Pearl Harbor, I guess. Building. Okay, well, we have. Okay, let's unlock that. We're gonna unlock this, and we're just building more and more spies. And I don't really. Oh no, really think we need that. I was getting tired of being not having any in our places, so I upped it pretty heavily in November. So we're a month and a little bit away from 38. So what does that? That means we come over here and start doing these, because when we get all four of these done, this and other ones will become undone. So yes. Area, yes, you may have as much metal as you like. Now, what we also can do here is diplomacy. I normally don't do, so I don't do it. Let's, we're going to influence nature. Hopefully they'll like us better and get into the or do the Anschluss with us faster. I'm not sure if that's really going to help or not. But just let me wait for events, but it may. Hope that happens soon. This one, and which allows us to industrial production, industrial efficiency, which is here. Okay, so we can do this here immediately, and that would be a good thing. And the other one is small warship has advanced. I'm guessing that's, yes, grayed out. And we're going to come over here and start doing industrial production. Research that, because that will help us out now, as soon as we get it. Okay, plebiscite. The leader of the fascist, who's actually in parliament or whatever, gets a plebiscite going to try to ban lunches by the Swiss people was rejected. Now, totalitarian governments of any type do not like, we could call them secret societies, or they're secretive societies, meaning they don't necessarily publicize everything they do. Do understand that every organization in National Socialist Germany had to become a National Socialist organization. had to become a National Socialist organization, had to conform to the system, had to do this. And I've collected things like gardening societies, people at home doing flower gardens and shows. The Nazis, in essence, I don't know if infiltration is right, but that organization had to come in line with National Socialism, which partially means Jews and others, I don't know, Freemasons, but others, I don't really hear much about Freemasons in the Nazi stuff. I hear much more of it in actually Spanish. Franco was paranoid about them too, but obviously here, had to, have its membership, its organization, all blessed by the National Socialist Organization. So there isn't like a nonpartisan just gardening society. It is everything is the party is sort of the state. It's not just who you vote for this, vote for that. It's an all-encompassing thing. So that has to Nazify the gardening. Also, a chefs association that dealt, I think, a lot with probably restaurants too, but a lot of it was apparently like with hotels, the restaurants and hotels organization that was doing, a national bake-off or competition thing in Germany. I've got material, left over, from it, from that. Meaning digital copies, photos of things. So every level of society in National Socialist Germany, every organization is National Socialized to one extent or another, and at least a facade, at least an apparent, throwing a swastika on the logo or whatever it might be, if not fully dedicatedly into it. So this is a characteristic, and it's not just of what we can call the right for the moment, though I have internal as well as external debates of whether fascism and National Socialism are right-wing or left-wing, what makes those up. But whether it's them or communists, or I would say socialists too, they not as hard, because socialism, as normally practiced, isn't quite as all-encompassing, but must adhere to the party line. And I will, I know some people get upset when I bring modern politics into it, but SJWs, social justice organizations, they too will require every organization to fall in line with their social justice program, or you are a bad organization. See, like a company like Slytherin, for example, they're a racist company. They have put out a racist official tweet in that they are supporting a platform in the wargaming community that is racism. They are for it, they like it, or they are forced into it by social convention, because they are now trying to uplift women and people of color above non-women and non-people of color, what group that might be. So they are trying to give special privileges to women and people of color, special privileges. They've stated this clearly. Now, also in the same statement is they're against discrimination. So I don't understand it there. But there, I forget, and it's, and this was sort of treated out by some organization out there, more inclusivity in the wargaming community, blah, 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 blah. And Slytherin is now signed on to this thing, and Slytherin puts out a tweet that, we're now part of this organization that's racist. Well, yeah, it's racist. And now it's not, not overtly a hate group, racism. But if the organizers of this inclusivityness in wargaming, because now, in my experience, which goes back to, literally the 1970s in wargaming with other people in clubs. Now, I was a child at the time, but I have never seen an overt act of either racism or sexism. Meaning, if a woman showed up to play war games and she very quickly goes, yeah, I play this game all the time, I know the rules, they would treat her like, yeah, great, we love to have you here, come on, play with us. Now, if she was new here, of course, they would, it might sound condescending, but they would try to, help her learn the rules, learn how to play, which, might be mansplaining the game to her. But, but if she quickly like, oh yeah, no, I know, I played this game, like just new to this particular group, they'd be happy to. And I'm trying to remember back in the 70s and the 80s, I don't remember too many dark-skinned people playing, but I also I didn't hear racist language like, we don't want these people here, or I just don't like these, no one was using that language. And now I do think it was a middle-class white man's hobby, sort of like in places golfing. Not that, you don't want POCs, as they like to be called nowadays. I'm sure you know what a POC is. But it was never, now this, I'm in California, so maybe different in, the South, probably was in the South in the 70s, as to who could show up at an event and if they'd be shunned or not by their skin tones. But yeah, I just never ever seen an anti-inclusivity element of that in my life in wargaming. And it was always, how do we get more people to play, because they want more people to play against. So yeah, that you need an organization that's trying to promote women and POCs over white people, or over white men, I should say, over white men, is a they may not, the people that organize this, they may not hate white men, but we know many out there that promote these organizations do. So it is a negative racism. It's not just a racism of low expectations, helping out things. So yes, so it in the social justice space, companies that get on board, and other organizations, to these sort of charters and mission statements and whatever. It may just be pressure, social pressure, economic pressure, I don't know. Literally blackmail. We're going to start picketing you unless you make these statements, and whether that changes their behavior or not, I don't know. But yeah, so it's on the left and it's on the right of organizations that don't conform or are not controlled by the ideology, is something that they very much don't want to have happen. Now, you may see this as being, only 64% of the people participate, of the electorate in which they have, sort of universal voting. I don't know. Did women vote in Switzerland at this time? I don't know. Probably not with these numbers, but I don't know. And they have that. And now. Votes rejected it by 68%. But the mission Now, I don't know what Fonyolas, I don't know how you pronounce that, hard or soft J, thought he was going to win or not, but it's a campaign to get people campaigning, and he may have thought he was going to win. I don't know. But even if they know they're going to lose, just by getting on the ballot, getting this thing, and sure, almost 70% say no. In 5 or 10 years, it may just be 60% that say no. You see it just grinding away at this position, that the idea that this position is worthy to get onto the ballot of banning an organization, Freemasons, in Switzerland, is a tactic and showing that their success. This is again, now this is the fascists. He leads the Spanish speaking, or not Spanish, Italian speaking fascists down here. There is a French speaking fascist group over here, and then up here there is a National Socialist German speaking group there that are in Switzerland at this time, and I'm sure many of those other members of these other parties, as well as quite possibly strict religious groups of either the Catholic or Protestant type, might have, that wouldn't have supported the fascist organizations, might have voted for that just because of their views. Well, in quest to keep this from getting too long, we're going to end this episode here. I want to thank you so much for making it this far. I want to thank Timothy, Nils, Sir Toyjet for your support on Patreon. But everybody else, if you made it this far, I hope I've earned that like button. And I'm sure you probably all subscribed if you're this late into the video. But if you still read down there, you can hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, just those two things, and commenting below are the only things I really ask of you to do, if you would, please. Thanks so much. See you next time for even more Hearts of Iron.